Hey guys, welcome back. Ty Williams here. I wanted to tell you guys we have been discussing networking, networking and relationship building specifically. And I'll tell you just from this perspective of when we started our business years ago, Nate and I went in together and we would go to a bunch of different networking events, different things along those lines where we would build relationships, do handoffs, introductions, and then if I got invited to something, Nate might get invited to something else, and then we would go together and make these networking events really productive. As a new agent, Bill, I think it's important for you to get out there and meet people, don't you?
Yes, because I will say that's probably been one of the bigger challenges for me. Because, in school, they're like, your sphere of influence, right? My sphere lives in Michigan.
Right.
Because that's where I'm
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, a good portion of the people I know and, like, the people that would send me referrals,
Mm-hmm.
they live in a
Totally
different
different area.
state, in a
Yeah.
different area. They're not going to send me people in Texas.
Right.
So, like, for me being new, like, yeah, I try to talk to people when I'm out at the grocery store or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what I've found the best place right now, just where I have my most normal conversations, is the gym.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like, I'm only there an hour or two a day, right?
Right.
So where am I going to meet people?
And how do you do it? I
Right.
mean, what's kind of the game plan? I think it's a good point. You're from Michigan.
Yep.
He's from Columbia.
Right.
And we're not talking Columbus, Ohio. We're actually talking Columbia.
Colombia.
So talk about fish out of water, both of you guys.
Yeah.
Really. And welcome to Texas. You know what I mean? Like this is a
Thank
good
you.
thing. You know. I know you got here as fast as you could. Is that
I
what that,
did.
isn't that what they say?
Yeah, 12 years ago.
Yeah, 12 years ago. 12 years ago.
I know I should have a bigger sphere in Texas, but
Well, it's a little fear that keeps you from your sphere.
wow, that's good.
You like that? Is that what it is?
Put that on a T-shirt.
I know, right? Yeah.
Wait, are we gonna start selling merch?
We are. We're gonna do merch. Sign up. You know. But look, here's the thing, Diego. From Colombia's perspective, you come in here just a few years ago, 5 years ago. You're starting your life from scratch, not knowing any English, right? When you came here, now you do, right? You know English now. Yeah. He's like just nodding. He's like has no clue. No, he has. He
just
look.
agrees with everything.
Yeah, he's like sure, yes.
Okay.
I used to be like that.
Yeah. But the neat part is you came here with just the motivation
Uh-huh.
to learn. So now that you're getting past that hurdle where you've got your English down, you're getting out there meeting people, you're doing different things, you're making some deals happen. Don't you think your next step is really the networking piece? Would you agree?
Networking piece. I mean, I think, like, at least in my experience, I don't speak English perfectly, but sometimes you connect with people not only because you all speak the same language.
Right.
It's also the energy you put on it, you know?
Mhm.
It's like if you try, other people seeing like you're trying to communicate with them, you have a good energy, you will connect with them, even if you all don't speak the same language.
Right. I 100% agree with you.
So I think a lot of times it's not what you say, it's how you act, your actions, whenever the way you move, whenever your movement language,
Yes.
that's important.
Yeah.
I think you're right on the money. And Nate, honestly, let's just take a time machine and go back in a time, what, 11 years ago? 10 years ago?
Yeah, 2015.
2015. Let's go back 11 years ago and let's talk about when we first met. It was the funniest thing that I'm not going to say the company. Am I allowed to? I probably shouldn't say the company. Shouldn't say the company. Okay, we won't say the company. I'm new to this, so I want to make sure I don't say anything. But it was good. It was a good experience, so it'd be probably a positive thing. But I'd been using one title company for the longest time. Okay, for the longest time, sending all my deals over there, and then all of a sudden, I go and I'm like kind of forced in this transaction that doesn't normally happen because 90% of my deals, I always controlled where the title was closed
Mm-hmm.
because I built my business on relationships. People say you can't control where title goes. That's BS. Quite frankly, you can 100% control it. It's just how you do it.
And for reference, that 2015 when we met was my first year as a career changing from, an 8-year banking career into, full-time business development role, with a title company?
Wow. I mean, you wouldn't have known it because he came out strong. And I can tell you right now, I was sitting, well, I wasn't even sitting, I was standing up, reluctantly turning in this executed contract to the title company and delivering the earnest money for my client. And all of a sudden, this guy pops out like, like a bad habit, literally, like popped out of the side. And he's like, "Hey, man, my name's Nate. I'd really like to earn your business. Really appreciate you bringing this deal over." I was like, "Look, I'll be honest with you. I didn't bring the deal here. I didn't want to bring it here, but
I don't want to be here.
I was forced to. You know what I mean? I was forced to bring the deal here,
Yeah.
and quite frankly, it still worked because I knew it was going to get closed. I didn't really care, and honestly, I didn't want to build a relationship with this guy because I was like, it's just
You
another.
had your relationship. Right?
Yeah.
You already had your title company.
I already had it.
You
I'm not
already
going
said-
anywhere,
Yeah.
And the fact is that I didn't want to spend the time on it because I was already set in my ways. I felt like they had good quality service, things like this, but I hadn't met Nate yet. That's what I didn't know.
Mhm.
And so after that point, I gave him my card. He kept following up. And then finally, I felt guilty because I'd been putting him off so long. He's like, "Man, let me take you to lunch." I was like, "Well, if this guy's taking me to lunch, we're going to somewhere good." And honestly, I do not let title people take me to lunch because I don't want to feel any sense of obligation. And that's just the way I work with lenders, title company, any of that stuff. I do not like it. Um, so this is a very rare occurrence,
Which is nice because there's a lot of people that let you wine and dine them with
and they
no
don't sell
intention
anything,
of ever,
or they sell
just no
anything.
intention
Yeah.
to send you a deal.
So true. And so Nate's like, "Well, where do you want to go, man?" I was like, "Well, let's go to." It was this really good
I
restaurant.
don't remember what
It was like Hudson's house or
no, not
Huddle
Hudson.
House.
That wasn't
It was a
around.
good one. It was I don't remember what it was, but it was like a good restaurant. So we went, and it's down in Fort Worth. We go to this restaurant, and I was like, "Look, man, all the title companies are the same to me. Tell me about you. I want to know about you." I was like, "What makes you different?" Because honestly, I really don't care about what the title company does because they can close the same title policy. It's just who closes that title policy that matters to me.
Mhm.
And relationship.
No, it's all relationship. That's it.
yeah.
It's all
'Cause
relationship.
The black and white's the same. Right?
Yeah,
Well,
the rates are the same.
The rates are the same. I mean,
Yeah.
escrow fees might be $100, $200 difference. I mean, nothing to break a deal over.
Yeah.
But I mean, service from the office and then relationship to help buffer that service is really the key.
It is. And so he started telling me, he's like, telling me about his military background, telling me about what he's done in the past, all these things, and then telling me about his son. And I was like, you know what? I like this guy because if I'm going to give my money to somebody, if I'm going to help support somebody, I want to know more about him. And I realized that I learned more about Nate in that lunch than I knew about my current title company.
Yeah.
Any one of them. It was very transactional. What I didn't realize was I was doing what I hated. And when I met Nate, I realized I needed to change that. So I did a complete 360, changed all my business over to Nate, and he got, I'd say, a good 85% of all my business. You know what I mean? And it was
It was
it.
a lot.
But
It
it
was a
was
lot.
it was good. And it
You were
was,
my first. I tell people you were my first biggest client in the title business.
well, I should have. I felt like I was your only and the best. By the way, the whole time.
Probably felt like it's first too, right?
Yeah. I
Well,
felt like
You guys had to work through it.
yeah.
When you called, I picked up.
Yeah. Well, the crazy it's funny. But you know what's funny is I will say this, it goes back to relationships. I needed to close a deal and we're gonna go into networking, but I had to close a deal one time with him and his company. It needed to close in 4 days.
Okay.
Okay. He literally got it done in 4 days. I opened it on a Monday, it closed like Thursday afternoon.
Jeez.
Literally done. It was underwritten. Everything was finished. We closed it, got it done. It was a foreclosure situation, but I don't know how they pulled it off, but they got it done and it was over. Nobody else could touch my business at that point
Yeah.
because you delivered. But it goes back to that relationship. So you fast forward, Nate's like, "I'm going to get my real estate license."
Yeah. 2019. I have a better story than that. That the turnaround on that one. I had a lender call me and I always like to brag about this one. And I didn't do anything. I mean, just the company was set up to be able to do this. And a lender called me and said, Nate, I'm supposed to be closing this. I can't remember what it was. It was like 2 or 3 days, and I totally forgot to order title.
Oh,
It might have even been the next day. I mean, it was something ridiculous. And so I went to work, because this title company had their own plants, they were direct underwriter. They were able to call, and we got a commitment back in 4 hours.
no
I've
way.
never beat it. A commitment in 4 hours.
That's insane.
That's
unheard of.
yeah.
Unheard of.
Don't tell people that that's possible.
No.
Yeah, that
Absolutely
is
not.
true.
Like-
That is true. I mean, but we were able to get it done for the client. And I mean that's what I try to do for clients now. With us, real estate clients is, you got to try to move earth, for them to make deals happen.
But it really boils down to the relationship.
It does,
Right?
It does.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And when we first started in real estate, like networking, let's just call it heavy networking, what did we do?
Yeah, so for me, my perspective, and I mean, I'm from Fort Worth, I was in banking, so I had a lot of interaction with, clients at that point. So by all means, I was not a shy person or introverted or anything like that. But now I was in a role where my job was to network
Oh yeah.
and to meet people in the real estate community to send me deals. And to this day, I can still remember going to my very first networking event, and it was a realtors event, and sitting in my car, nervous.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
And I'm like, Nate, what's going on? Like, this is not like, you're an extroverted person. You love people. You love building relationships. And I'm sitting there like, what am I walking into? And I think that anxiety is what keeps people from doing it. I mean, I quickly was able to get over that, but when people ask me what should I do when it comes to networking, start off, just go do it. It doesn't matter what the group is. And we can get into some more of the specific groups, and some of it could be industry specific, but to start off for your first 3-6 months, be strategic about it and just go to anything and start meeting people.
Right.
Because you got to get over any anxiety that's caused from walking into a room of hundreds, of people that you don't know one person.
That's so true. But one thing that I feel like that we can all do together easily is we can walk into a room together
Yeah.
and
helpful.
easily work the room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like if
That automatically
makes it
just
easier.
eases any anxiety, nerves. It's like
Simple.
It's like if I don't know something, I will just casually be like, "Have you met Ty?"
That's right. Yeah. Hey, you know this guy?
Hey.
But me and you went to an event for a bunch of officers.
Yep.
Okay. We went there, and it was a connect that you had.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, will you go with me? I'm like, yeah, let's go. When are we going? Because I love going to this stuff.
Yeah.
And what happened? How did it work?
I thought it went really well, and I was nervous because it was my first. I wasn't nervous to be in front of people.
Right.
I was nervous because I was talking real estate.
Mm.
And I feel like being so new, and you and I have talked about this, I feel like my knowledge base is not up to where I want it to be
That's
to
right.
speak confidently. So having you there, I knew I was like, if I start to struggle or if I have to throw it to Ty, I can easily do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I have the knowledge base that I need. And it was great. We spent 10, 15 minutes talking to them. I gave them a little cop story to leave them with. I got to give my card out to probably 30 people. I mean, it was
good.
I think it went great. I mean,
I would agree. And he did well in even when he thinks that the problem is that you're your worst critic.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to remember when you're going to a networking event or you're going to meet new people, you think worse about whatever you're thinking than they are because they really don't care.
Or insecure.
Insecure.
About your knowledge base.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Exactly.
competency.
Because I like to think like I like to turn that on myself sometimes,
Mhm.
and I'll be like, I had coffee with a lender a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how many agents he's had coffee with. I don't know if that was his first, conversation. I know it wasn't his first, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many times he's done that.
Right.
I know he's newer to the industry. I wasn't judging him at all.
Right.
We were just sitting down having a conversation. I did not. He could have fumbled. He could have left and been like, oh, I told Bill like 3 wrong things. I can't believe I did that. I didn't know that. I thought it was a good conversation.
Right.
So I try to just remind myself of that. Like, people aren't judging me, like, unless I sound like an idiot, right?
Right.
And that's,
But the truth is, people don't know what you know
exactly.
unless you let them know.
Right.
Right? So just remember, when you're going to a networking event, if you're going with a teammate or whatever, this is one thing where we dominated. So one of the best things that I can tell you that we did, there's also an art to getting rid of a time waster. Okay.
Because you guys would go together.
Oh
right?
yeah, we would go together, and so maybe Nate would go on one side, and there was another gentleman that would go with us. He'll be on the show at some other time in the future. But Nate would go one way, I would go another. We'd meet some people, figure out who the
Collect
kind of the
cards,
players,
cards.
who the players are, and then we would make a round of introductions. Or if we found a bunch of duds, I'm just gonna be honest, found a bunch of duds, or the usual just there for the happy hour drinks that really don't do anything. Those kind of people, we would avoid them as well, because you know who they are. If you've been to a few of these,
Yeah.
you know the ones that are just looking for the freebies, and they're just there to get drunk, or whatever it is.
I think that's
Not
my
interested.
biggest fear with these networking events. It's like, I don't want to go
And
just
look
have
like-
drinks
no.
with 100 random people.
Yeah.
And it just be like a social thing, and we talk zero potential business.
And you know what's funny? It might, but I can tell you, based off of our experience, they're always, if you look, I would say this, one of the keys is I never say what I do first, ever. If you ever watch, I never talk about what I do first, especially if you're with someone else. The best part is, if you don't say it about yourself, you give it more validity by having somebody else do the introduction.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, when me and Nate would go, he would be like, oh, man, he's, Ty Williams, blah, blah, blah. He's a broker. They're starting his brokerage, RJWilliams Company. And I was like, man, the best freaking title guy on the planet. He closes deals in 4 days,
4 hours.
4 hours, it's crazy. But instead of us touting about ourselves like everybody else there was doing,
Yeah.
you don't have to.
You can feed off
Yeah.
each
You
other.
feed off each other.
And there's
You have-
validity there.
Right.
Instant credibility
Right. Yeah.
from another person.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
and the other thing is, you got to be careful who you network with.
Right.
Okay? If you network with a loser, I'm just being real. This is just being straight up.
Because they're out there.
There, quite frankly, there's a lot of losers out there. And I don't want to be rude. Actually, I really don't care. But there are a bunch of losers out there, and you don't want to associate yourself with somebody who's a dud. Okay, because quite frankly, it's a reflection on you. You're hanging out with this dud. You must be a dud.
Yeah.
Look, and honestly, that's the way I feel.
Because do you feel like the chances are in that setting, right? Some of the other people that you're trying to meet see you spending a little too much conversational time with the dud,
With the dud.
and they're like,
Yeah.
another dud.
Another dud,
Because
or
they
they can
know
relate.
that
They can
person is-
relate.
Yeah.
Or if you're going in, let's just say we go out with I'll say a lender or a title company person, and we don't know them, but they're known in the field as like kind of the bar fly,
Okay.
or like the do nothing lender, or the do nothing title person, or whatever it is. It gives a different perception,
Yeah.
right? So you've got to be careful who you go out and you team up with, the network. And then you also have to be careful with wasting your time, because we're there to meet people, build relationships. And if you find somebody good to build a relationship with, then man, you've knocked it out. And all you need is one, right?
Yeah.
One good connection. And then you can start, hey man, if you feel like they're a good fit, you can say, hey man, where are you going next week? Because I could see myself tag teaming. And then I tell Nate, and then we would go meet them at a networking place. Or Nate gets invited to one by somebody else, and then he brings me, or I get invited to something else
Yeah.
and I bring him.
Start
So
getting
you're
into
getting in
these
front of
circles,
Yes.
you know,
And
these
then you
different people.
exactly, and then you show up in like a wave,
Yeah.
okay, and you're noticed, right?
Yeah.
And one of our key things is we would show up like when we started really getting good at this thing, we would show up with a group of different people that are pretty strong, and then we would always get noticed and get the attention. Be like, who are you guys? We literally were asked multiple times, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
What are you up to? And they would search us out. And then when you get to be known in the industry, I'd say we're pretty well known, honestly, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we know a lot of people.
Yeah, we do know a lot of people. And so when we go to an event, people seek us out to talk to us.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not that I want them to. I'm happy they do. But the fact is, those are the people that want to seek me out to talk to me. I want to engage them. I want to talk to them because they're also the people I want to talk to because we have something mutually in common. But that's why it's important not to hang out with duds.
Yeah.
It's important to go into an event with
Avoid the duds.
The
avoid
duds.
the duds, but it's important to go into an event with a strategy. I mean, listen, most of these events, right, are after hours.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have a family, you know, you don't want to waste time being away from your family. Like you want to have like, hey, I'm going to be away from my family, but this is a strategic, you know, event that I need to go to. And you know, I'm going to try to meet the right people, but a lot of the work is done after the networking event. So, you know, what I used to do, and I still do this today, is that you go to this networking event, you're networking, you walk away with, you know, however many cards, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is. Well, you know, maybe you don't want to meet with all those, but what a lot of people fail to do is reach out to those strategic people that you want to meet with and have a coffee with them.
Yeah.
Now you've got an hour one-on-one, and then you're able to get deeper
You
into
get to know them.
who they
quick
are.
combo.
Because I mean, everybody's kind of feeling this maybe social, you know, anxiety that's going on, or just trying to put, you know, best foot forward as everybody would do and should. But this is like, you know, eyeballs to eyeballs. You know, tell me about your family. Tell me about your business. You get to do the same thing. And that's where the real connections happen. Otherwise, it's just a card in the trash, and hopefully you see them at the next.
And
networking
remember their
event.
name, hopefully.
And try to remember the name, because here's the deal: your biggest potential clients or networkers aren't going to be at every group.
Right.
The duds and the barflies are going to be at every single one.
They sure will.
You know,
And they're
so-
almost always at a happy hour.
For sure.
And-
And I mean, a lot of them do. Most of it has, you know, drinks, but
Yeah.
a happy hour for sure.
Now, there's a different dynamic. When you go to a breakfast, like an early morning breakfast, I feel like that's the real power players most of the time.
Could be, yeah. It's going to be really early too.
It is really early.
I've had, you know, prospects that were like, yeah, you want to get on my schedule? It's coffee at 7:30 in the morning, and that was just their time, and you bent to meet them at that time.
And I'm
You
happy
know?
to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that's more productive though. Like meeting with someone before your business day, right? And then you're not cutting into your family time.
So
after work.
Yeah, even right now, my if I schedule coffees, which I do on a weekly basis, you know, I schedule coffee meetings at 8:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and that's just because that's with, you know, dropping the kids off and stuff.
Right.
That's just the earliest that I could do. I'd make it earlier if I didn't have to do that, but you know, start my day off 8:30, coffee. It's done by 9:30. Guess what? Got the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Because lunches, you know, you've got travel time, you've got, you know, waiting on the waiter, waiting on your check. Like, it's hard to have a business lunch with travel to get from, you know, leaving office, doing it, you know, coming back to office. It's 2 hours.
And also with real estate though, what if you pick something up in the morning and you're working a deal and then you have to put it on pause to go to lunch?
For
You know what I
sure.
mean?
And
Like,
it's already on the schedule.
Right.
I mean, I've had things come up where I just straight had to reschedule
Right.
for a client.
But you're right, Nate. But I want to bring it back to the new agent. You take somebody to lunch, that could be a lot of money.
Yeah.
Taking somebody to lunch
Yes.
when you're a new agent and you're tight on your budget, you're just trying to make every penny count.
Yeah.
Let's talk about budgeting, and let's talk about those networking groups, lunches versus coffees. Coffees are way more productive. They're on a finite amount of time, which is
Yep.
great because we both know coffees are going to be shorter. It's also exponentially less expensive. Also, you want to use reciprocity, the rule of reciprocity. So the one thing I love about coffees is there's no way I'm going to let anyone buy me a coffee.
Right.
I'm going to buy you the coffee because guess what? There's a sense of reciprocity there. Okay. I don't want to feel I have any obligation to use your service. Now, I appreciate the gesture and trying to buy me coffee, but I'm going to buy you the coffee because then I owe you nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the way I feel. Okay. And I really do have a sense of obligation, but that's exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a vendor. So those things are really important. The other thing is when it comes to making these important meetings, sometimes when it costs you money, you think, well, this has got to be important. These are going to be good people. I'm going to be the one of 6 in this. What are those networking groups called? The
Like a BNI.
a BNI group, right? Where you're like paying in $300, $400, $600, sometimes even $1,000. I've seen. Now, I'm sure there's some real benefits to those. I just haven't figured out what they are yet.
Yeah, the problem with them is that you don't know what other industries around,
Right.
and depending on what your
Yeah.
industry is, there might only be one. So if you're a residential realtor, yeah, there might be one mortgage person in there. But I mean, after you've networked and they all own their home or rent and they don't want anything, then you're already tapped out.
So here's
You've
the
paid
thing though
money.
with that, like if you're in the same group, right? Are you expected to work exclusively with the lender that's in your group?
Well, and
Does that come along with being in the group?
they have a whole rules. I hadn't been in a BNI group. I've been in several other networking groups. I mean, there is an expectation to, hopefully do some business together,
Yeah.
but it's not a requirement. I mean, they can't force it as a requirement.
Just kind of like an unwritten.
You
rule.
know, because I've been in some where I didn't get the biz.
Yeah.
Networking groups.
Yeah.
I was like,
But you know what?
what the hell?
I think the worst part about it is it sometimes, I mean, I'm going to say this in my thought process, but sometimes people in the BNIs are the ones that are like, I feel like, I'm going to say this, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but I'm going to say maybe they need the business more.
Yeah.
And maybe, but I want to work with lions.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to work, if you're a lion and you're somebody who's going to, go out there and attack and get stuff done and you're a hustler, that's who I want to work with. I'm not really interested. Now, look, some could say, look, you're going in, you're paying in because you want the business. You are a lion. Yeah, but I'm not in here to pay my way in. I don't want to take the easy way out necessarily.
Yeah.
I want to take the right way, and I want to meet the right people in the right seats, and I want to connect with those people.
I'd like to see the true return on that though. Like, what's your true return on investment in those groups?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's tough to say
Quantify
that's
it, basically.
I think it's tough to say that that's the best route. Like it may be a route,
right.
but I feel like if you're really trying to hustle for business,
Yeah.
you're not going to stick in one group because then you're limiting yourself
You are.
to the group.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why would you want to just limit unless you're going to join multiples?
Right.
But then how much money are you spending?
Oh, you're spending a ton. And honestly, is that good money?
Right.
Yeah.
Where's
Is that
the
good money?
Where's the ROI?
Right. Because honestly, you could spend the money on social media or
Your own
Google,
marketing.
your own marketing, and really push your business forward. You could do videos, for a good example.
Yeah, the groups just become too small. I mean,
Right.
they're not that big. I mean, they're limited, whatever they are, 15, 20 people, and it's just not big enough to build a business off of.
So can I say that we would not recommend a BNI group?
I just don't.
Well, I wouldn't pay for a networking group.
I wouldn't pay for it. Now, look,
if anything,
yeah.
I would encourage somebody to start their own.
Right.
Yeah.
We were talking about that
Yeah.
exact thing.
That's
What about like established groups? Like, because I feel like also I have not been doing like a lot of networking just because if there's a very good established it, probably they're gonna have a realtor already. And it's gonna be like a bunch of realtors there, and I'll say like, I prefer if I go to a new group because they don't know each other, so I can fit more and have like, because if they already know a realtor for 2 years, they're gonna use them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it
And
makes
it's so
sense.
difficult to change that mindset.
Right. And I agree with you. But that's why I think getting out there and meeting the right people and not just sticking with a small group is really crucial.
Okay.
And you got to expand your circles. It's kind of like networking. I want you to think about this, Bill. Would you expect say, somebody else out there who is not working in the luxury market. What is luxury actually? I mean, it's a state of mind, right? Um, but in the more wealthy communities, if you're not one of the wealthy in the wealthy communities, I think it's hard to relate to that. It's hard to network.
You don't understand
with it.
The stressors that come along with that level, right?
Right.
Just like they probably don't really understand the stressors of the lower level person, right?
Or maybe they do understand it and they've been there, but they're not wanting to go back to it.
Right, exactly.
And I think what the key is, I think we all want to build upon each other, right? I want to learn something from you.
Yeah.
You want to learn something from me. I want to learn something from you. You want to learn something from me. Same. That's the whole thing. As long as we're moving forward, I think we're all good. But I think the problem is that so many people just want to be able to get in the door and they think a meeting is going to make it happen.
I think that's what it is. I think the mindset is I'm going to get in this group, and me being known in this group now gets me into all these people's sphere of influence, right?
Not going to happen.
I just immediately get the door open for me into their sphere. I just don't think that that's true.
No, and if you're smart, you're not going to recommend every Tom, Dick, and Harry, especially when you value your own reputation.
Right.
Because the fact is, it's hard for me to recommend someone. Because unless I've had personal interactions, I will give zero recommendation, period. Okay? It must be a first-hand experience that I've had with someone because I've seen it go too many different ways, too many different times.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, the whole aspect, it's twofold, right? With networking, you're going wide and you've got to go deep.
Yeah.
You got to do both. And I mean, there's maybe certain circles that you can just go deep on, but you got to go wide. That gets a wide variety of people who know what you do, and then you got to connect strategically with people from that wide network, and then it's a long game. You got to do this is not I went to 2 networking events this month, I'm good to go.
You're
No.
sold.
You're done.
Rolling in leads.
Yeah.
This is
Long
year
term.
over year
Yeah.
over year, building a career upon going wide and deep, from networking and connecting with people. And that just takes time.
Now, look, let's just be real. For realtors, let's give some honest advice here and let's think about it. In reality, you need to know who the competition is out there, right? You need to know who the players are in the market.
Sure.
But let's just be honest. Is it really crucial that you go out there and network with a bunch of other realtors?
No.
So that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I agree.
I can't wrap my head around going out and networking with other realtors when I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Does that make sense to you?
Doesn't
No.
make sense.
It doesn't. No one has been able to explain to me why that type of event would give me a good.
That's at that point, it's just fun. It's not business.
Exactly. And it's not about building business. It's about just relationship building. Sure. Absolutely. But my point is that when you're a new agent, I think the most crucial thing you can do is go to places where you don't see other agents. And I think we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about where we don't see agents. There's a lot of places where we don't see agents. Now, look, there's a lot of people who have licenses, but they're secret agents, or they have a full-time career doing something else.
Secret agent.
Right?
Yeah.
But what I'll tell you is one of the most valuable places that I have found to build our business, to build my own personal business, is in politics. They say you're not supposed to talk religion and politics. I beg to differ.
Everyone talks.
I speak both of them,
Yeah.
and I don't care, because the fact is if you're not for me, then that's fine. I'm not for you, right?
Yeah.
It's a mutual respect. The truth is that I'm not going to force anything on you, but I can tell you this right now: I have my beliefs. I have my beliefs. I have my values. I have all these different things,
and people respect that. You have plenty of relationships on the other side of the aisle, and they respect you because you know what you believe.
That's right. And the truth is, I'm not bashing anybody.
Right.
I
think that's
crucial.
The key, though, right? You have your beliefs.
Yes.
I think the problem, especially in politics now, is you have these people that want to jump from issue to issue they have an issue that they
Right.
believe in. They don't have a belief.
That's right.
They can't actually tell you what they believe. It's just for these few months, I'm fully entrenched on this issue. And if you don't agree with me on this issue,
then we can't
even communicate.
No.
Because
And in fact, I'm deleting you off of social media.
yes.
And how many times have I been deleted off of social media? I am sure a good amount of times.
Yeah.
But I don't really care, because the fact is that I want to help the people that want to be helped, and I want to help the people that like me and that love me and that want to value me just because I value you.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's a mutual respect.
Yeah, a lot of people might be thinking, I mean, what do you mean by politics? Like, how do you do that?
It's simple.
I know what you do, and you do that at the best. I mean, that's been your
Love it.
bread and butter. But maybe for the audience, talk about, okay,
What does it do?
What how do I do that?
Okay, let's just quickly just say, what are you going to do to get into politics, and really, how do you kind of work? What do you do?
Who's your council person?
Right. You need to start with a list of your representatives. And right now is a good time to get into this, quite frankly. Actually, any time is a good time, because they're always fundraising. This is one thing you got to remember. Fundraising is happening year round, and there's always events that are going on. So
just
go.
pause real
Yeah,
quick?
we'll pause.
Because I think a broader brush there,
Mm-hmm.
people pay so much attention to national politics.
Right.
They completely ignore their local
Politics,
politics.
sure.
When your
100%.
local politics are what's really affecting you day to day.
In your local area.
Yes.
Yes.
In your area, and especially for us in real estate,
Yes.
I can only imagine, like, I'm still new, right? So
Yeah.
I can only imagine how much local politics
Oh,
plays a role, but no one ever talks about that.
Yeah.
They don't get involved in the local
And
stuff.
and that's what's going to affect your business the most.
Right.
right.
And
people want to know you know what you're talking about.
yeah, I don't know about other cities, but I know in Fort Worth, I mean, you can call your council person up, get to know them, and they'll have coffee with you.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Which is,
This is a very big city
Yes.
with a small town feel.
Yeah.
and your council people know everybody in town.
Yeah,
Everybody.
they sure do.
You know.
And so let's just say what you start with. Start of the list of your local folks, city council, mayor, all this good stuff, and then work your way up. But the first thing you want to do is, if you're unsure, if you're kind of in the middle on everything, right? If you run down the center, if you're kind of Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever it is, you know what? Maybe you show up at a couple different ones, and you go figure out who you really get along with and who you like the most. Because I always say, you go for the person, not the party. Right? Because if you're just so narrow-minded that you're only going to go with that one party,
if you just check the
box
D or the R on the ballot,
so shallow. Because the fact is,
again, you don't have any beliefs.
yes, it doesn't make any sense.
You're just party line issue. That's it.
It doesn't make sense.
You think that word or
Right.
group defines you? You're
It makes no sense.
fighting.
No,
And it doesn't, because the fact is, no one's ever 100% right.
Yeah.
And no one's 100% left. You get it? So what I'm going to say is how I started was, I started going to a lot of different political events. And my friend here was in Steer Fort Worth, which is a great organization. And it was started by Mayor Betsy Price. It was kind of her baby. He was in Steer Fort Worth. Another friend of ours was in Steer Fort Worth. Another friend got into Steer Fort Worth. And we all just got really involved in going to political events and learning more about the politicians, the people, or the leadership, the people that were in town. And we got to know them very personally. I mean, to the fact that multiple people came to 4th of July parties at my house. Multiple people have come to birthday parties. I mean, we're not just saying, like, it becomes a very personal relationship, because when you care about the city and you care about the area, you care about what's going on, they want to care about you.
Yeah.
Because you can relate to them. And the fact is that when you go to political, like these fundraisers and things like this, you get to know people. And most of the time you have something in common with them, or you wouldn't be there in the first place.
For sure.
So it's easier to talk politics. It's easier for you to get into it and get into the flow.
Yeah.
And get to know people. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And I mean, talking about Steer Fort Worth, I mean, it was such a great organization, as you said, started by Mayor Betsy Price, and, really opened us up to, the whole city government, really, and led to coffees with different council people, sometimes my own, sometimes others. But speaking to networking, I would have never even found Steer Fort Worth had I not just started, going to networking
Mhm.
I've
events.
never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're opening up your world with networking, and you have no clue where it's going to end. And that's the cool thing about it. You're meeting people, you're connecting with people, and you don't know what organization what door is going to open because of that. That's really going to make you grow as a professional, grow as a person, meet more people, get more involved, and, ultimately do more business,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know?
100%. One more thing I'd like to say about it is I think that's really crucial is charity.
Yeah, that's
Another piece of the puzzle is charity.
it's a big one.
It's a huge one. And I want you to think about this. When you go to charity events and you go to these different things, I didn't know. I just wanted to go to something I liked and maybe could get to know some cool people. Well, I did get to know a lot of really cool people. And what I figured out was a lot of these cool people are the ones that are really doing things around the city. A, they're influential. B, they're movers and shakers, and they're also entrepreneurs just like us
Yeah.
because they want to see things happen.
Most of
It's just
the sponsors and stuff a lot of times are business owners, and some of the biggest charities there are connected to the political circles.
they are, and you'll see a lot of cross pollination.
Yes.
But there's one thing I never see there at either one of those
Realtors.
almost guaranteed because you know what? It takes a donation. They don't want to donate. They don't want to. They don't want to pitch in.
Yeah.
And the fact is, you got to be a part of the solution if you want to be a part of the crowd.
Mhm.
So you have to put your money in to the group to help push along your favorite candidates, push along your favorite charities, and make the city and the place you're in a better place.
And a lot of times when you're networking, you end up getting associated with people that end up having tables at these events.
Yeah.
So now you get invited, and I always encourage people, at least if you get to go for free, at least make a donation
Yeah.
the price of what
Yes.
the ticket would
Would have
be.
been. Yeah.
That's just
so
the respectful thing to do.
if it's $150 a seat for the event and you get asked to go free to sit at a table, donate at least
that, yeah.
$150. So
Right.
you paid your way, you're giving to a good cause, and you're meeting wonderful people.
100%.
That brings up a good point, though.
Mhm.
You're talking about like putting your money behind people and charities that you believe in. Why wouldn't you want to learn about your local politics and your local politicians? Why wouldn't you want to be involved there and try and make the city that you're selling homes in the best it could be?
I don't understand it.
I love
Makes no sense. Why would you not?
Like, I mean, it's never clicked for me before.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of people watching,
Yeah.
like, they never put real estate and that together.
Oh,
But
real
if you're
estate's
selling
everything.
if you're selling in an area, why wouldn't you want to have some, even if it's minute input
hmm
into trying to make that area the best it possibly can for the people that you're selling houses to?
Mhm.
Exactly. And I want you to think about this locally here in Fort Worth. We've had a lot of talk about school board and the things that have gone on there. I can tell you just personal firsthand knowledge. I know some of the school board members and they are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, quite frankly, they're great school board people and they really love and look out for those kids. I can tell you for sure. And I know them on a very personal level. The problem is it's it's a collective issue. It's not just the school board.
Right.
It's the schools.
You have a lot
It's
of
everything,
involved.
and there's so much going on.
It's not just
You can
Fort Worth or Texas
right.
either. This is a
It's
nationwide.
a problem,
you
and you
know,
can't control it all.
challenge.
You can't control everything with just a school board.
Yeah.
It it's gotta start somewhere. They just happen to have that issue, but being a part of that, I've learned so much. And remember, our biggest part of our tax bill is based on school taxes.
That's
So
true.
school taxes eat up a lot of the property tax bill, and it's a lot. Okay, if you've got an expensive home, you are spending a very pretty penny, and I expect good quality schools.
Yeah.
The problem I see is if you're not involved in school politics, they say it's not politics, but it is. If you're not involved in that, you have no real say. If you're not in the PTA, if you're not involved with your school board, you have no real say on how that money is going to be spent, your opinions be heard. You have no
Well, it's
no
just
right to
like-
complain.
It's just like voting, right?
Hmm.
I feel like if you don't vote, do not complain.
That's right.
If you don't, I'm serious. If you
Yeah.
don't vote, you did not cast your ballot to complain.
That's right.
You did nothing,
Yeah, that's a good point.
so you don't get to complain about anything.
No, you don't. But go where the others don't.
Yeah.
And this is the one thing I talk about it. You know, it's funny. I've been talking about it for years. Am I right?
Yeah.
I've told everybody. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
This is what I've told everybody. The problem is I still see it the same way. I don't see people showing up. I don't see people going to charities. I don't see people going to political events. And I definitely don't see brokers. Almost guarantee you, I don't ever see brokers there. I can tell you this. I want to be a part of the solution. I want to be a part of the answer, and I want to be a part of the group that makes that happen. And you've got to do those. You've got to do those things. But the other thing is you want to network with your group inside your office as well. And we have an agent-centric office, meaning where we have a lot of agents that come and go out of the office throughout the day. If you want to get to know the office, you come in, hang out, and you get to meet everybody. And you build those relationships because a lot of the time you can cross-pollinate ideas, cross-pollinate with each other, and you're gonna go market together, do events together,
Yeah.
host open houses together. I mean, hell, don't you have
I
one
just
coming?
did one
Yeah,
yesterday.
you did one
with
yet.
another agent here.
That's cool. How did that go?
It was good.
Yeah?
I mean, the weather was a little too nice. I
Yeah.
think everybody was out enjoying the weather.
Right.
Which fair. It was
Right,
very nice.
right. It was nice yesterday.
But also, it was nice, especially for me, because that was my first open house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would have been anxious
Right,
had I gone to that myself.
right,
And had someone walked in, I don't know what I would have said. Like,
right.
hey, how are you? Welcome
Right.
to this house.
Hi.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was nice to feel like I could have another person there, and it didn't feel like a competition. Like we had already said, like, if you build a relationship with someone that walks in the door better than I do, by all means.
Right.
It's like we don't have to fight for people.
It's teamwork.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way it should be.
That's what I was gonna say here. Like, the office is the only place that networking with other realtors makes sense to me
Right.
because everyone's been so cool.
Yeah.
Everyone's been so helpful.
Well, you want to work with your teammates. You want to work with them because guess what? If you have a buyer, you have a seller, you have some type of tenant or a client or something, you can get the help you need. You can connect with the right people, and it's much more efficient.
Well,
which is
also,
nice.
what if I need a roofer? What if I
Mhm.
need foundation? Like one of our agents this morning, she may have a listing with a foundation problem.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get my foundation fixed twice. So I gave her the company that I used because they were great with me. She called them. They're going out tomorrow.
Even better.
So
See?
it's like-
that's just all. That's
it's
the way
just-
it goes.
Yeah.
It's just,
Your personal experience,
right.
Because you
And
wouldn't.
that's when I wasn't a realtor.
Right.
This
But
was
you're not
years ago.
recommending them unless you
I
know them.
used them.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So
So it's really crucial. Look, guys, the main thing is on the networking piece is just get out there, get to meet people, and make those things happen, those connections happen.
Yeah. I mean, people ask, and I still do this to this day, and I was doing more of it then, and some of it depends on, the maturity of your business and how busy you are. But, I think everybody should be able to, go to 2 networking events a month. From that, the cards that you collect, the connections that you have, that should allow you to have, 1 to 3 coffees a week.
Mm-hmm.
And make that a part of your practice. And what the networking does is open, that's going wide, right? You're getting cards. Having the coffees is going deep, and it's wide, deep, month over month over month. Incorporate that into your business. And, you do that for long enough, which we did for years. And you wake up one day and your network is huge, and you avoid some of those lows that we talked about in the last,
Mhm.
episode, where real estate's up and down, But if you know you're meeting new people and making activity happen,
Also,
your business is going to
we
grow.
talked about activity, right? What you're saying is activity that me as a new agent, when I don't have clients knocking on my door all day long, I can use my downtime to go be active, networking productively.
100%.
So even if I'm in a valley, I'm like, I haven't made a transaction yet. I don't have leads. Like, I could sit at home and be like, real estate's not coming to me. I guess this isn't, I guess this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Like, I can seek out the events, and then I have more time than a busy agent.
Yeah.
So like, why not use my time to do something like
this
that?
ends up what ends up happening is when you do it month over month or year over year is that you get so many doors open, then you can kind of get to the place which I think we're at now where it's, hey, let's get more strategic. Like, we are very busy, like this is time away from our family and our kids. Like, what are the strategic events that we want to go to and participate in, and who are the individuals we want to spend time having coffee with and building that relationship. But early on, you just got to throw yourself out there and start swimming.
Right.
Just jump in the pool and go.
And I think Bill actually brought up a really good point though. And if you think about it, when you're a newer agent, the one disadvantage you have when you're a seasoned, more experienced, busy agent is time. The one thing that I can tell you about, I mean, Bill's working his business hard, making things happen, but he gets a client today. He's going to have all the dedication to that client.
Yes.
And they're going to get the best possible service, period. And you can't compare the two, right? Because you're going to get the best experience because of Bill, but you're going to also get the best experience because of Bill, because of his team, and because the fact is he's going to be able to grab from the knowledge here to put that to work for you as a client and move your dreams forward at a much faster pace and with a real sense of dedication and urgency because he has the time to do it.
Yeah, I have the time. So what I have in excess is time, right? My knowledge may not be to that level yet.
It's coming.
But I could call you. I could call you. I could call you.
That's right.
I can think of 5 other agents inside that I could call.
Right.
They'll help me without any question, without expecting anything in return.
That's right.
Like, that's why I think being here, and you keep saying teammates, which I think is huge. Because it does feel like we're teammates.
Yeah,
it doesn't
we are.
feel like we're competing for business.
Right.
So, like, yes, I may not have the knowledge yet because I have to gain it through experience, right?
Right.
But I have experience behind me.
That's right.
That I can contact to help me with anything.
I mean, it's so true. And I think the really cool thing is the best thing about real estate is it boils down to one thing. You want a piece of land, you want a new building, you want a new house, you want a lease, whatever it is. But it starts with a handshake, maybe a hug, a phone call, an introduction. It's always about relationships, and it boils down to one thing. It's about who you know, not necessarily what you know. Because if you're motivated enough, you can get the answers, you can get the knowledge quickly, and you got the support.
Yeah.
It's really what the key is. And so, I mean, the one thing I'm going to say is that's interesting. Interesting proposition with Bill is his background is in law enforcement, and his background being in law enforcement. Also, am I allowed to say this about your wife? She's a nurse.
Yes, she's a nurse.
Yeah, she's a nurse, and so they already have a service mindset. So this is like second nature, and they want what's best for people. They want to protect people. They want to help people get better. I want you to think about it. It really does go hand in hand. So when you take a background like that, and then you take the motivation level that Bill has, you put that forward, you got an instant combination of success and an instant combination of having someone else's best interest at heart. So it's really exciting. It's really cool. And it just all starts with a handshake, hug, and a phone call.
Yeah, I love that.
you know,
I like
and that's
that.
it.
As a new agent too, even the vendors that are in the space,
Mhm.
I mean, they network and know a lot of people. And two, you get to learn a different aspect that you may be using or have to direct clients to.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't discount the vendors that are out there, your title, your lending, your roofing inspection, all of that, because, they know a lot of people in the space.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool stories. One of the guys on our commercial team, met with a residential mortgage lender, one that came and sponsored one of our meeting. And, they end up having coffee together. And logistically, it's like, man, commercial broker, commercial agent, residential lender, there's like no way to really do business there. Like not even going to be applicable to commercial clients. They went on a coffee together, connected, and we actually got a commercial referral out of it.
That's
That's
awesome.
wild. It's
That's
wild.
awesome.
That is really cool.
I mean, those are just the things that end up happening over and over and over. I can have a laundry list of stories like that where you go and you think, I don't know if anything's going to come of that, but you connect with somebody
Yeah.
and a referral comes out.
That's also cool
Mhm.
because now that commercial agent, right, has firsthand experience meeting with this lender. So if one of the residential agents comes and they're like, oh man, talking to the commercial agent, like, I can't find a good lender. And they're like, well, I had coffee with this guy. Like, it turned into a referral for us. Like, we couldn't do true business transaction,
Yeah.
But
you built a relationship with that person, and then you can share that with the residential side.
Absolutely.
so true. And, I'm going to say this too, because I think y'all hit on a really good point. When you think about commercial, you think about residential, almost all of the commercial shops in town, they're all independent of any residential, right? Well, we set ours up to be independent from residential as well, but we all share the same space.
Right.
So we get to know each other.
Yeah.
So the opportunities flow, right? And the funny part is it, I've seen it a lot of different places where they are so segmented that you'll never run into one of the
Right.
commercial people, or you'll never run into one of the residential people, or quite frankly, their office culture sucks and nobody sees anybody,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the thing with that too is like, in my mind, right? Everyone that's in commercial, not everyone, let's say 95% of people in commercial, don't they also own a home?
That's right.
So wouldn't it also be beneficial to have a residential person that could help them?
Right.
Or on the residential side, what if you get into contact with a potential client and they're also a business owner?
That's
So
exactly
what
what I
if
was going to say.
you